Hello and welcome back to the Rugby Connection podcast, the only place to get all the ins and outs from the rugby world. Well, we've kind of done things differently this week just because build up to Christmas, everyone's busy, schedules are out the window. So this week, instead of talking about round one, we're going to do a little dive into round two for both Challenge and Champions Cup. And I've got the statistical analysis man himself, the stat man, Andy. Welcome back, mate. How are you getting on?
Good to see you, mate. I think you might be overselling my stats ability, but we'll see.
I don't know. You do more stats than pretty much anyone I know. So there you go. We're going to start with the Challenge Cup because I know that not many people watch it, but it's still good rugby. It still deserves to be talked about. Friday night, I will be there loud and proud. Edinburgh taking on Bayonne. Now Bayonne's got a win just by the skin of their teeth, and Edinburgh are not. Edinburgh didn't win at the weekend, so we definitely need that win. I think both teams will go full noise.
You think
But I don't
Bayonne
know,
will
French.
away from home?
I don't know. Because apparently they want to take it more seriously this year.
Okay, well that'll be interesting to see.
It would be also very weird to see Manu Tuilagi at Hive Stadium instead of Murrayfield. That's going to be quite strange to see, but
I can tell you this: if I was running the show at Bayonne, there's no way I'd risk him in an away trip in a European competition. I mean,
probably not.
the man is.
I was thinking about this during the week. Like, is there actually any realistic chance of seeing Luke Taggy, Camille Lopez, Manu Tuilagi, just to name a few?
I mean, I think Manu's you're least likely to see him, but you might see some of the others. Like if they really are going to target the competition, if they really want to win a trophy, maybe. But honestly, it's the hardest part of following European rugby is looking at the fixtures and trying to be like, who's actually going to pick a full team? Like which of these is going to be a proper
That's
match?
fair. I agree with that. I think Edinburgh's going to go full whack this week
Yes.
because we didn't last week and it really annoyed me. Just because of how they did it. Like they could have rested, again, no disrespect, you could have rested against Benetton and gone full noise against Gloucester, but because you went full whack against Benetton, Scottish Rugby came in and went, actually, 7 of your starting players can't play.
Were they
So
away to
yeah,
Gloucester last week?
it was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's tricky. It's difficult.
It's just, yeah. I think that was our biggest game as well. That's why I was more like, if you can go full noise, get a win down there, it's pretty much smooth sailing for the rest of the group.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
I guess it's a gamble. Like it I'd love to know what the conversations are that happen like between coaches and the administrators at the club because there must be
oh
some
yeah,
disagreements over it. Like people must fall out.
I wouldn't like to do it.
No.
Especially when you get like, right, you're the coach, you're in charge, your decision's final, and then wait a minute, you can't play him because he played for Scotland.
Yeah. I mean, I think they all know at some level. Like you are in charge and your decision is final, but only up to a point. It's the same everywhere, you know? Like
Mm.
you can't argue with reality. And I guess the argument will be like, well, pick your strong team in home games where you get the gate receipt and where it's financially a really good thing for the club. And
Mm.
the away games just don't have that pull, right?
Well, I was actually going to mention that because not just for Challenge Cup, but Champions Cup as well. Apparently, a lot of commentators said it over the last weekend that if you can get something out your away game, whether that be an attacking bonus point or a losing bonus point or both, great. It's all about getting the big wins at home. And I'm like, that can't be right. Surely you're going out to win every game
If you have the squad for
imaginable.
it, yeah. But
Mm.
like, how many teams? Let's take the Champions Cup. How many teams actually have the squad for that? Like Toulouse and Leinster. Um, you know, Glasgow has an amazing team, but do they have the squad to go full noise in
Mm.
every game in two tournaments? I'm not sure. Um,
That's fair.
yeah, it's difficult because you've got to like the players have to play a long season, and like you say, there's international unions as well telling you when people can and can't play. So like, it is a proper balancing act, and you can see why people prioritize the home games the way they do, just for the financial element.
Fair enough. There you go. See, this is why we have Andy on the show. He knows more of the internet than I do. Who do you have winning that opening game of the Challenge Cup this weekend? Edinburgh or
Uh,
Bayonne?
well, I mean, I would imagine Bayonne don't send a first team, and I imagine Edinburgh go full whack and win it pretty comfortably. But you know, you can be surprised with the team sheets. Um, Either way,
Hmm.
I'd still back Edinburgh either way. Like I think they'll definitely pick a strong team. They need to win this game. Did Bayonne win their first game?
Bayonne won by a point, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they were at home last week, so
Okay, interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
I'd still back Edinburgh.
Fair enough. Obviously, back your team, Edinburgh for the win. Montpellier versus Ospreys could be quite a fun game as well. Osprey getting a big win last week,
I
but
saw.
they are away. They are away this week, and
Yeah.
going away to France is just a really weird, not concept because it's been done for years. It's just a very hard thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, their teams are usually really powerful, right? Like the crowd usually get really into it, especially if you've sent like a slightly less experienced team. Um, that kind of stuff all counts against you in the end.
I'll go for Montpellier on that one. I
Yeah, I
expect
think
Ospreys to run it tight, but
I guess it depends. Like I just don't see them. Yeah, I just don't see them going all out, you know?
yeah. Next one, I'm not diving into the next two like properly. No disrespect. It's just I'm reading them and I'm like, I'm not interested in these games.
Mm.
But we'll mention them because they are part of the competition. Zebre versus Leon. Leon, I suppose. Yeah.
You would think. But again, like what if Leon send a second string and Zebre have one of their days? Because they've had 2 days so far this season, right?
They've had a
So
few good days, yeah. Might as well. I mean, Zebre are at home, so never say never, especially
yeah,
when it's in Parma. Might as
yeah.
well. Next one, we're actually over to South Africa. You've got Lions versus PAL, who,
I mean,
however you
if
say
the
it.
if the Lions don't win that, then
Such a strange game that, without being disrespectful, that doesn't excite me like at all.
I don't know, man. The Lions are pretty good to watch. I think
They
like
are good. They are good to, but I mean compared to like other fixtures, that'll
yes,
be on.
yeah. No, I'd watch the highlights of that. I wouldn't watch that
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think Powell will probably get blown away.
So is it PAL? Is that how you say it?
I've no. That's how I read it, but I actually don't know.
PAL. Pole. It's
Poe,
definitely
maybe,
not poo.
maybe Poe.
It's definitely not poo. I know
I think
that.
you can be pretty safe on that one. Yeah.
Section Polaise. There you go. I don't know. I don't speak French. Yeah, I expect the Lions to win it. It's not. We were already on about France, but like South Africa's even harder to win.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's you know, it's obviously not ideal. I know a lot of people still get angry whenever the concept of South African teams in Europe gets brought up, but
mm,
I mean, I do think it's the best of a bad situation. Like the teams have the only place it's bad is the travel. Other than that,
yeah,
it's improved the competitions. Like it's great to see more of the big South African players playing alongside European teams. That's awesome, but there's no like perfect solution to the travel problem,
no.
right?
Thing is, they're on like the same near enough the same time zone as us, so it's
Yeah,
not like kickoff times suck
no,
or that.
but that's why it's so good. Like
Yeah,
the fact that they can be played alongside the normal fixtures and there's no disruption is great. Um,
mm,
it's just
no.
traveling to games is hard, but it's not like there's a big culture of away fans in rugby anyway. Um, but it's really
Well,
tough
I don't know.
for the
I don't
players.
know. Like, I think I think the French teams get a lot of support coming across, and then like if it's like an Irish fixture versus a Scotland team, I think a lot because it's really short travel. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But what I'm
I
saying is
can't see.
it's not like football, right? Where there's like away days is a big thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
No,
it's, it's people really. I think a lot of the time with rugby, it's people who fancy a city break, and they fold the game in. um,
probably
yeah.
the more I think about that,
Because it's
yeah, it makes
expensive.
sense.
It's really expensive to go to
Mm,
somewhere like Edinburgh or, a weekend in France. Like that kind of stuff adds up. So
mm.
yeah, it's difficult.
Nah, Lions will win. It's that altitude.
Yeah.
Uh, Vans versus Gloucester. I don't even know because Vans are like the new boys of the top 14.
Beat La
And
Rochelle though, didn't they? 2 weeks ago.
yeah, But again, that's top 14 where it's really top 14 is so weird, and that's why I can't cover it on this on the show because like you look at the teams and you're like, oh well, Toulouse, La Rochelle, Toulon should be winning, and then like Van beat La Rochelle, and I'm like, and everyone's like, yeah, but we knew that was going to happen. Did we? I didn't.
No, I didn't. I'll admit to that.
Apparently, these upsets are just quite common in the league.
I mean, it's
So
like massive home and away gap, isn't it? Like
yeah,
only it seems like
oh,
only
yeah.
the top teams really win away games with any kind of consistency.
Mm.
Like Toulouse can put out a second string and still go and win away games, but like everyone's very strong at home.
It's just a really weird concept. Again, it's just really strange how like it's like night and day. But I imagine Gloucester's going to get the win without
Away,
being. I don't know.
I'd be surprised, man.
I've never seen Vans play.
Neither have I, but I would still be surprised. Like going and winning away in France is difficult.
Mm, I'm trying to think who they've got. I think they've got Stephen Varney. I think that's the only player that I can rattle off. Maybe the one of the Vanapolas. I think Marco plays for Vans.
Oh, does he?
See what I mean? I don't know.
This is great content. This
That is good. It is the best
two
content.
guys being like, we don't know.
Um, I mean, I would expect Gloucester to win, but again, I really don't know. I've never seen Vans play. I know it's in France, and I know that like home advantage is massive, but
Mm,
I generally have never seen them play, so I really can't comment.
yeah,
I'm just
interesting.
gonna
I
have
guess,
to.
like we say, depends who Gloucester send as well, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, Gloucester will go for it though. Whoever they pick, the way they play, they'll go for it. So maybe there's a famous
Yeah,
away
that's
win
true.
on the cards there.
Yeah, why not? Um, Cardiff versus the Cheetahs. Well, old Pro 14 days there.
Mm,
Um, Cardiff because Cardiff are doing quite well in the URC. So Cheetahs
uh,
did get a draw last week, but I still think it's
yeah.
really weird. The whole issue having the Cheetahs in the team is very strange because they're in South Africa. Everyone knows they're a South African franchise, but because they were an invitational team, it's like they're not allowed to play in South Africa. I don't know if they fixed that this year, but I remember that last year that they were playing in Amsterdam,
Yeah, it's bizarre,
even
isn't
though
it?
at the same weekend Stormers and Sharks and etc. were hosting fixtures. I'm like, just go to Bloemfontein then. Like, there's obviously games in South Africa. Just go there. Yeah, it's really strange. My mate actually said he would like to see almost like a playoff system for like champions of Portugal, champions of Spain, champions of Germany, instead of just being invited. Like actually, like earn your way, kind of like what football do with the lesser leagues. So it was like a qualification process. I'd like that.
Mm, I mean, it would be cool. It's
I don't know. I don't know why I would fit in everything, but
that's the trouble, right? It's like there's so many different everything's organized by different people, and you've got to come up with something that brings all of it together. Like that's so
yeah,
difficult.
it
Um,
is.
and you wonder about the quality, like because like
Mm.
Black Lion are doing okay, right, as an invitational team, but they've got most of the Georgia team, right?
Yeah, apart from like
Yeah,
the big heavy
yeah,
hitters,
yeah. So it's
so
almost
like
like it's like the Leinster Ireland thing. It's like that extra level of cohesion, but sort of working in reverse. Um,
yeah.
be very, very difficult for club sides from those smaller nations. But I'd be all for trying it, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Give it a go and see how it works. But um, I don't know, or just let the Cheetahs play at home. That's basically the
Yeah. Ultimately,
yeah.
just let them play home. I assume they want
But
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
it must be really annoying to try and find. Let's go to this country. They don't care about rugby, so they're not going to support yous. But you can't play. Yeah, just like the
Yeah.
Cheetahs have a decent fan base
At
back
least
in
let
South
them get the gate
Africa.
receipt. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I think Cardiff will win. I think
Yeah,
Cardiff will be too strong.
they're going okay this
Yeah.
year.
They have.
Tax looking good.
Plus, it's at Cardiff Arms as well. So
Yeah. Well.
Staying in Wales, we've actually got Scarlets versus, ironically, what you've just mentioned, the Black Lions. And I believe the Black Lions won the last time they came
They did.
to Wales.
I think so.
I think they did it again.
Depends. Like Scarlets have looked all right this year as well.
Yeah, yeah, they have. It's just I don't know. I like when like the smaller teams just come out of
Oh yeah,
thin air.
me
Yeah,
too. But I think Scarlets will win it.
I'm just gonna quickly brush over the last two for the Challenge Cup before moving into the big one. Perpignan are hosting Connacht. Mm, again, it's in France, and
I think
Perpignan's a really
it's
strange
difficult.
team.
It's difficult. Like they'll be strong at home. It depends who Connacht
Mm,
select. Depends if they get the bounce of the ball on the night. Like, yeah. I think it's so difficult to call because the number of times you
uh,
look at just because we're not as familiar with the French teams and you look at a team like
mm,
Connacht going away and you think, oh yeah, I reckon they could do it. And then the final score comes in and
how-
it's not what you
how
expected.
so I know.
Yeah.
Um, just for that, I will say Perpignan get the win, but
Mm.
I really haven't a clue.
Perpignan drew with the Cheetahs last week. I mean, that's,
Yeah,
you know, oh, I
was
don't know.
that away though? It must have been
Well,
away.
yeah, away, but not in South Africa, right?
Away.
Yeah.
A little
Um,
weekend, a little weekend in Amsterdam. Lovely
yeah.
stuff.
I know you just wonder with Connacht because they won comfortably last week. Do they not send a full compliment over? Like
Yeah.
how do they manage it? You know, that's look yeah. It's tough to know.
Back in Newcastle for the final game. Newcastle Falcons taking on the Dragons. I have Falcons winning this. Steve Diamond is working really well there, and it's at home.
I hope they win it. Be great to see.
I'd like, I'd like to see them win it. And that's
Yeah.
not nothing against them. That's nothing against Dragons.
No,
Just
no, not at all. Just that. I mean, to be
but,
fair, the Dragons haven't had a brilliant start to the year either. Even though they've like some of their losses, they've looked good and they've just been pipped in the last couple of minutes. So
yeah,
like honestly, that's one of those games where whoever wins, I would be happy for them, and I'd feel bad for who lost. Like they're just two teams trying their best, you know, financially
that's
outmuscled by everyone else, but still doing some good stuff. So
absolutely. I think
yeah,
that's a good way to put it. We're going to go into the big guns now. Champions Cup time. Friday night lights. We've got two games.
yes we
Again,
do.
I'm not trying to be rude. I don't think we need to dive into these ones as much because there are some tastier fixtures. I'll still watch them.
I think it depends if what if because like Cast, I was looking at Cast's top 14 record last week, and they are strong
Okay.
at home. They're good at home.
Hmm.
So like, you know, the fact that they sent second string to Northampton and got thwacked, like that's what you'd expect. So it really
Hmm.
is. I reckon that might be a bit of a sleeper good game. You know,
That's the Munster.
yeah.
Probably will be. I'll probably still. No, I can't. Actually, I just realized I can't watch either Friday night games because I'll be
Oh
at the
yeah,
Edinburgh
you'll
game.
be at Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll definitely be watching Castres
There you
and
go.
Munster because if you know they're decent at home in the top 14, if Munster can get a win, that's a big result.
Hmm. That's fair. No, yeah, I agree with that. Also, I think Munster might want to prove a point that they can beat a team that isn't down to 13.
There's been a lot of chatter about that. I reckon they'll be so happy with how last week went. Like potential
Probably,
bananas,
yeah.
potential banana skin. They locked the game up. Stad then got frustrated, and gave away
Hmm.
the discipline went to pot. But you know,
I've not really spoke to you about it. I just want to quickly hear your thoughts on the whole double red card in like quick succession.
I mean, you couldn't argue with them, could you?
No.
So
The second one, especially the second one, the minute without even looking at a replay, the minute you seen Craig Casey get lifted, I'm like,
yeah, when you see his
whoa, wait a
legs go
minute.
up in the air, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
he's in trouble.
he's in trouble.
So fortunate that he didn't get hurt.
Mm. Because he kind of like lifted him and then like went to the side with him
Yeah,
instead of just dumped.
just frustration, I think, on the part of
Although,
the Stad players because they weren't in the
but
game.
no, they weren't.
Yeah,
I shouldn't laugh at this, but like when Craig Casey got put down, obviously Pierre Romani and company was just like,
hmm
oh, that's what you could see Craig Casey like underneath it all, just like, lads, stop.
yeah.
um, I fancy Munster getting in a way one. I really do. I don't see why not. It won't be easy, like you've said. You've looked at the record,
Yeah.
but I think if anyone's capable of getting out an away win, it is Munster.
Yeah, I mean, it's, for a team with no coach who were in disarray, it felt like a month ago, they've steadied the
Yeah,
ship really, really
yeah,
well. And like
absolutely.
with all the internationals back in, like things definitely seem to be moving a bit slow. Like you do have to, there's an asterisk with the quality of opposition, right? Like Stad sent a second string last week, but still, like you beat what's in front of you, and Munster have been looking
Exactly.
good.
You read. You beat me to it. There. I was just about to say it.
Looking good doing it.
Sale Sharks versus Racing. It's going to be an interesting one because I mean I didn't have Racing winning last week at
I
all.
wasn't sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought Quins might nick it, but Racing were all right, you know?
Yeah,
Not playing at
but
home. They had
yeah,
like there's a few things going against them, and getting a solid win at home to Quins, who've had their number over the last couple of years in this competition. So yeah.
Sale Sharks is an interesting one because I know they lost to Glasgow last week, but they looked good. They weren't a bad. It wasn't like they played poorly or that. Like Aaron Reid got a great try. Carpenter was everywhere.
Yeah. I
And
think with
again,
them it's do they have the squad? Like
yeah,
are they gonna go full noise, really go out and try and win this game? Or because I remember last season, might have been in the Challenge Cup rather than the Champions Cup, but they sent a second string for a knockout game. They made it very
yeah, against
clear.
Ospreys, yeah, yeah, I
Yeah, made
remember
it
that.
very, very clear where their priorities were. And I wonder if that'll be the same this season.
Mm. It's weird because I'm kind of just going off on one here. I did hear, I think it was yesterday, because of the issues with Tom Curry, both Alex Sanderson and Steve Borthwick have said we don't want him to have any more surgeries before the World Cup because we want him at the World Cup. I'm like, his track record tells me he's not going to that World Cup. Just based off that sentence alone, like Tom Curry's a great player on his day, but he has had a lot of like unfortunate injuries in very quick succession. So
Mm.
if you're saying you don't want him to have surgery at all until 2027, and we're still only in 2024, nah, yeah, that's a tricky, that's a tough situation.
It's a tough one.
Mm.
I saw he's doing all sorts. He's having like stem cell recovery
Yeah,
on his hip and like God, like the commitment levels. Because he's been injured a lot. He's had terrible luck with injuries.
yeah,
Um,
it sucks. It really does. But
yeah.
hopefully he comes through all that. Because I have heard that like basically every professional player goes through like just 2 years of injuries.
Oh, what when you like tot it up at the end? You mean?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
once you're done once you've retired, it's like so from like the age of like 27 to 29, just for example, you were pretty much written off.
Yeah.
Like you had like 4 games in a row before getting hurt for like a long spell. Like you were never really in
Mm.
playing in and out week in week out. And I'm like, that's interesting. So
Yeah, it's
who
tough.
knows? I do think Sale will win though because it's nitty, it's gritty, it's at AJ Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, are Racing really going to bring a full complement? Like they've got their home win in the first game. I can't see them bringing a fully
God,
loaded team to Sale.
yeah, I don't see it. Actually, this next game's going to be interesting though about who goes where, who's come because we're going to Loftus. We're at altitude. Bulls versus Saints. I don't think Saints are going to go full noise for that one.
I don't think you can. I really don't think you can.
No, be
Um,
interesting though.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't see it. Bulls as well. Bulls desperately need the win. Saints don't desperately need the win. Um,
No,
but
no.
I think teams who've been it's a tricky one because like to win the competition, I think you need to win the pool. Um,
Like, yeah, I agree with that.
Saints probably will fancy they can lose at Bulls and still win the pool. So I suppose that's the calculation, right?
Mm,
Um, but like remember, Sarries went full noise to the Bulls last year. in the pools, and it did not go well for them. They got absolutely
No.
hosed. And I think the same thing would happen to Saints. And like, are you going to risk? Saints don't have the deepest squad as well, right? There's a couple of players where if they get injured, like panic stations. So yeah, Bulls. And also the Bulls have something to prove because they weren't very good last week.
Say it like this.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that's how they feel, you know?
Probably. Yeah, Jake White wouldn't have just let that one slide under the carpet anyway.
No. Good first half, to be fair. Not a great second half.
No, I do agree with you though. And like as a Loftus, and people say you can't use it as an excuse. It's not an excuse, but on a week turnaround, maybe not even a week for some teams, on a 6-day turnaround, going to the Loftus, it's not the easiest of things to do.
Nope, you're tired already, and then your lungs don't get as much oxygen as they normally do.
Exactly.
So that's literally,
Yeah, no,
you can't argue with that.
I love it though. People are like, yeah, no, you can't use that as an excuse. Yes,
a lot of people say that. It's like, it's science. Like, it's literally science.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, I'm with you though. I've got Bulls winning. Over to Belfast now. We've got Ulster versus not Bayonne. Shut up. Bordeaux. I don't know why I said Bayonne there. I apologise. Bordeaux.
Yeah. I also think this was kind of interesting. Yeah, because who picks who, right? Like, if Bordeaux bring everyone, they will win this. I doubt they will, because presumably they've got a lot more top 14 games after this European block ends, before Christmas and New Year's. So, I mean, I'm probably Ulster, because they have to. But if Bordeaux bring the stars, then Bordeaux.
Yeah, the minute you see like Jalabert, Bayaberi, Pete Samu,
because that pool is stacked, right? It's Toulouse, Bordeaux. There's another big team in there. Who else is in there?
One's up, Pool 1. I will double check now.
Why am I blanking?
Oh, wait a minute. Computer froze out. Yeah, Toulouse, Sharks, Bordeaux.
That's right.
Leicester, Chiefs, and Ulster.
I mean, that's crazy because like those top three teams are all probably pool winners, right? Is it going to come down to who gets the better away results and who brings their full first team away? Because we know Toulouse will. So if you're Bordeaux and you're like, well, like, we want to compete at the top of the table, you don't have to play Toulouse in the pools. So if you want to compete at the top, you just need to score more points than Toulouse do in your away games, basically.
I mean, easier said than done.
Yeah, but like as Bordeaux, and I mean, they've got to, both Toulouse and Bordeaux will have to go to the Sharks, right? So how they both approach that game is interesting part of the chess match. But you know,
no, are they both going to the Sharks, or does the Sharks come over here for one of them?
Oh, that's a good point. I'm actually not sure.
Because Sharks already played at home last week, so they would only have one more.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So,
oh, well, that might end up deciding the pool then. I mean, that's the one thing where I feel like I understand why people get frustrated with this competition because the draw really does make such a huge difference.
It does, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have got Bordeaux winning this though, because I can't see Ulster getting that win. And I'm not trying to sound harsh on that. They've missed something, and I can't quite put my finger on it this year.
Toulouse are going to the Sharks.
Toulouse are going to the Sharks.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bordeaux are hosting the Sharks then.
I would. I haven't found it yet, but yes, that's right.
So you've got Ulster, I've got Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Leinster versus Clermont. If you asked me in 2010 if that was the final, that'd be a game. Not so much now.
Yeah, like Brock James era Clermont.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think Leinster. I don't think Clermont will target this game at all.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, nice and easy. Leinster's getting a big comfortable at the Aviva because they love playing at the Aviva.
Oh yeah, big party atmosphere.
Get ready for physicality because you've got Leicester Tigers versus the Hollywood Bet Sharks. Oh my
I'll tell you what. First half against Bordeaux last week, Tigers were really, really good. Really good. And the Sharks aren't going to send a fully loaded team. I think Leicester probably get a big win in this one.
Yeah, I can see that. I imagine so. They really impressed me last week.
Yeah. And like, you know, I can't remember who I heard talking about it, but there was just that one big turnover that really decided the match. Like, even in the second half, it was still in the balance a little bit. Like, Leicester still had some good ball midway through the second half. They were still threatening. And there's that one passage of play where Liebenberg drops it and then Bordeaux go up and score on the other end. And, away against teams like that, unstructured moments like that will kill you. But Leicester would still, I think, have gone back to the dressing room and thought, like we did well today, lads. Like, they're a big team.
They walked away with bonus points. So
yeah,
there was that. And then, I mean, Wilford's Road, come on, like doesn't get much harder than that in a European fixture.
I mean, yeah, the Sharks got what they needed last week. They won't risk it this week.
No. Next one, as tasty as it's going to be, I can only see it going one way. La Rochelle versus Bristol Bears. I think, again, France at home, 2-time champions. I think they've sold out 70 games consecutively. Something it's stupid like that.
They love it. They love it over there in La Rochelle.
So La Rochelle's getting a win. It's nothing against Bristol Bears. I thought Bristol did really well to hang with Leinster for the majority last week, but
especially losing McGinty early, that was a big one for them.
But the minute Leinster managed to crack a hole into Bristol, the floodgates opened.
Yeah,
and La Rochelle are more than capable of doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like
I think
they'll overpower Bristol for sure.
I think it's more just how long can you hold on for?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound harsh because I actually do like the Bears. They are a very good team. It's just not.
La Rochelle's power game against Bath was ridiculous.
You
think about that Bristol team, and it's like, to be fair, like Bath really missed Lawrence. He's their go forward in the centre. Bristol do have hard carriers in the centre. But it's one of those, like if Bristol go and they have a plan and they try and move La Rochelle around the park and they just try and play really quickly and they hope that La Rochelle kind of gets sucked into a bit more of an open game. There is a world where you could see them pulling a robbery, but I just don't think La Rochelle will let that happen.
it would be interesting.
Yeah.
Twickenham stood next. Quins versus Stormers. I mean, I've got Quins because Stormers' injury list.
Yeah.
It's unreal. Like, if Quins don't win that game,
I'm going to that game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be good fun. We were hoping we might see Sasha or Lebock, but I mean, I'm glad to hear Lebock's okay after last week. But like you say, the injury list is just crazy for them at the moment. Like,
one in like nearly every position there enough. I think almost a starting for feeding this out.
I mean, I would be playing the kids every game in the rest of this tournament if I was them. Like, because this is not the season. With this many injuries, this is not the season to push it. But I'm pretty sure it was someone at the Stormers talking about how, like, you can get caught in this cycle of trying to finish high up enough in the URC so that you get into the Champions Cup, and then the Champions Cup comes round and you have to prioritize the league. And it's like this weird cycle of qualifying for a tournament to then not take it seriously.
Not take it seriously, yeah.
So, like, those frustrations exist within the clubs as well. But with their injury list, it's just so hard to see why they would take a trip to London seriously,
No, that's understandable.
Yeah.
We've always got 4 games on the Sunday, which makes a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, which is
lovely.
Nice change. Benetton versus Bath. I think Bath are going to win this. Again, Benetton are good, especially at home, but it's Bath. Like, Bath were so close last week.
I think that might be a cracker of a game,
I will be, I think so.
Because Benetton will need a response. Like, they were poor at Claremont. And Bath obviously lost at home. So, like, it's last chance saloon for them. So, yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that one. I think there might be some tries.
Quite a lot of loose rugby. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Stade Francais versus Saracens. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, depends what Stade you get. I reckon Sarries will fancy that, though. Like, Sarries will be looking at that and thinking, we can get a win here and we can put ourselves in a really, really good position.
Absolutely. Tom Willis really putting his hand up for England Cup come Six Nations.
I think he'll get ignored again, but we'll see. Well, because at this point, it's like willful. He's been brilliant for a while now. Like, yeah, anyway.
You know what it reminds me of? Just quickly. It actually reminds me of when Sam Simmons was red hot at Chiefs.
Similar
thing. It was almost like, hello, he's right there. And,
it's like the coach has backed himself into a corner with not picking him, and now he feels he can't get out of it. But yeah,
just pick him. He's on form. It makes anyway. I think Saracens could snatch an away win. Toulon versus Glasgow.
Ooh,
This
could
is what the
be
Champions Cup is for.
could be a cracker, you know.
Stade Felix Mayal with
Do you
their
think
weird haka thing at the start of the game.
do you think Glasgow send a strong team?
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know because it's 1872 Cup next week. Well, the first leg, and it's at Hampden, so they've went big for this time round instead of going to Scotstoun.
Right.
I think if you see the
Then
score,
something tells me they aren't going to.
I don't think they'll go full
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
The more I'm thinking about it, and the occasion that's on next week,
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Toulon though will be in a cracking position if they win this game.
Oh yeah, big win at
Like
Stormers last week.
big win in South Africa. You know, some of the superstars looking very, very good in that game.
Villiers was on top form.
Mate,
Baptiste Turin just
has there ever been an unluckier player than Baptiste Serran? Like to be around, but just to be in the shadow of Antoine Dupont. But how good he is. Like he's unreal, Serran. But yeah.
it's just always been there, but not quite there. If that makes
Yep.
sense. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd
And
love to see
Legaric is the shiny thing now. It's
That's
like
great.
yeah.
As much as I love to see Glasgow win it, I can't see them going full noise, and I think
No.
Toulon will definitely go full noise.
Yeah.
And
I think because Toulon had a disaster campaign in Europe last year.
yes,
I think there's a desire to maybe put that right a little bit, and I think they're taking it a little bit more seriously. And the French teams who've won it in the past, they always do take it a bit more seriously.
and they actually lost to Glasgow last year, so there you go. There's
Oh, did they? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, let's get that done. Last game, I don't really want to talk about it. Exeter Chiefs versus Toulouse. Could you name a harder start to a Champions Cup, going away to the Sharks and then taking on the champions?
No, that's about as bad as it gets. That's
Doesn't
about
help.
as bad as it gets.
Chiefs form does not help this case. Even if Chiefs were like flying high in the Prem, I'd be like,
Yeah,
you know
you'd
what
still
we
be
could
like,
do?
this is difficult.
Yeah, but consider we're bottom of the Prem. We've not won. We got absolutely smashed last week. We were so poor last week, especially defensively. Like
You were good in the first 15 minutes. Like the blueprint was there.
which didn't stick.
Yeah, like, but it's difficult. Like, you're at the bottom of a bounce, right? Like everyone expected this rebuild to happen last year. Last year they like performed way over themselves, which is great. But it's all coming. All of the stuff we expected last year has happened this year. So
yeah.
you're not going to get the measure of where Exeter are by their performances away to the Sharks and home to Toulouse. Like,
I don't even know if I could. I genuinely don't know if I could say back my team because I feel like it would just be really, really stupid right now.
oh, Murray, there's surely like a vanishingly small chance that Exeter get anything out of this game. Like, even if Toulouse don't go full strength, they're still good enough. They're still good enough to go and win there. Like,
get some of the players to just rattle them. Like, get them yellow card, get them red carded.
The trouble with rattling Toulouse is like they're bigger and they're meaner. Like they're such an amazing mix of like flair and edge. Like you can out physical them,
No.
Like that Leinster Toulouse final last season was like test match intensity. No one took a backward step at any point. You can't rattle them. They're just that good.
I don't want to bet against my team, but I'm stuck in a corner here. Like
I think you're gonna have to, mate. Well, I'll say I'm going with Toulouse, obviously.
I figured everyone, basically, everyone's going for Toulouse, and I don't blame them. Yeah, why not? Toulouse will win. I'm genuinely lost with Exeter this year. I genuinely don't know where to look forward to where we're going to win as well, because we've lost that much now.
Yeah, it's difficult when you start that way. It's unfortunate that like you had the break for November, you had a chance to regroup, and then your games were Bath away, Sharks away, Toulouse at home. Like that's so difficult. That really Yeah, that's really tough. But I mean, it will turn around, right? They're not going to go all season without winning a game. They're too good. So, yeah.
But it's just getting to the point. I'm like, where
Newcastle at home.
Newcastle? Yay! Last day of the season. I don't actually know if that's true, but yeah, Toulouse will probably win.
Yeah.
Win comfortably. But yeah, we've done something different this week. I've actually ran Andy a bit over his time, so I apologise for that.
Oh, that's all right. We're close enough.
That's good enough. Challenge Cup, Champions Cup round 2. We've done a lot in that. We'll be back next week to discuss the results and look forward to festive rivalries because they're all doing derbies come up to Christmas. And enjoy the Quins game. I'm sure you will.
Cheers. Yeah. Enjoy Edinburgh. Enjoy the Hive.
I will try my best. I'm actually doing a double header this weekend. I'm doing the Emerging Scotland fixture as well on the Saturday.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Who have they got?
Italy under 23s.
Oh, nice.
There's just a little, I think it's just a little trial thing, but the thing I'm excited for, they've not brought in any other coaches for it. It's Gregor Townsend and his staff that are leading the Emerging Scotland.
Nice.
Ooh, I like that. So
okay, a good chance to see some of the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is definitely a lot of youth coming through, despite what you read online. That's all I'm saying.
Well, but enjoy it.
I'll try my best, but Andy, always a pleasure. I'm sorry for keeping you on longer than
that's all right.
expected. And yeah, how
always
YouTube
enjoy it. Hopefully, be back next week.
Hopefully, we'll get a schedule a bit more balanced.
Yeah.
It's not great at the moment. Yeah, we're on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Give Andy a follow on TikTok at Rugby Knows. If you like what I do, please give me a follow at Blissful Rugby. And until next time,